Matt, you pronounce the horse's name for me, please.
Well, I'm not Japanese, but I'd imagine it's Mozu Markasin.
We'll go with that. You say it far better than me. How is he?
He's very well, actually. He looks fantastic. The only caveat probably to that is that when he had his first up run here in Australia at Warrnambool, he looked just like he does today, and he ran a shocker. We put that down to the ground that day, and hopefully that'll hold true as well after we've seen him run today. But he comes into this in great shape. He's had a couple of jump outs, a couple of really good gallops since then, and he's in really good order, and I'm hoping he's a horse that can really improve this preparation.
You're obviously well acquainted when UK and Irish imports come over to Australia. Is training a Japanese horse and their acclimatisation similar or different?
Well, it's taken a bit of time to learn the language, but he's certainly adapted to our style. He seems to really thrive in Australia, and he loves it. Seems to like the climate. He's always got a great coat on him, and he's really developed as a horse. Even though he'd had 13 starts and as a maiden in Japan, he looked very, very immature, and I think the guys at Rising Sun did a great job in selecting him because he'd had some good form without winning, and came down here as quite an immature horse that still needed to develop, and I think he's done that now, and I hope that he can really build on the 2 wins we got with him last prep.
Small field, but what have you asked Logan to do here?
I've really just left it up to him, to be honest. I'm hoping the horse comes back with a little bit more tactical speed in his first race. He's sort of quite fresh and well. If he breaks really well, I'm happy for him to go forward. It's a small field, so if he ends up tripping coming out, then he can go to the back. I'm really not bothered. I'd just like to see a nice smooth run from the horse, and one that can see him really build and prepare him for the prep ahead.
Now, I've got a very serious question for you here, Matt. You've got an English accent, I've got an Australian accent. Do horses have accents? Do you think this horse, when he neighs, he has a Japanese accent?
Of course he does, yeah. They all have their own voice and their own style, and he definitely has a Japanese lilt to his.
Events and they're racing. Wascally from the centre, one of the better ones away with Super Solar. And also Core on the rails. They're just having a bit of a look around here at the moment as Wascally just led. Girls, the outside, Super Solar. Core is kicking up on the fence, and then came back towards the outside, Mozu Markasin. And last of the small group is Super Stock. So Wascally led, 1,400 metres to go. No land speed records at the moment by half a length. The girls, and they're 2 lengths in front of Super Solar Core. Further back on the outside, Mozu Markasin, and last is Super Stock. So 1,200 to go. Wascally the leader. Wascally just wants it over and done with a little bit quicker, but led by 3/4 of a length. Second is Girls, a length and a quarter Core on the inside. They were followed by Super Solar, a length and 3/4 Super Stock, and Mozu Markasin the next line. Wascally is the front runner, heads towards the turn off the back with no pressure up front here by a length. The Girls. They were followed in third on the inside by Core, and then came Super Solar. Mozu Markasin thinking about sliding forward 3 deep, and does so as Super Solar put the foot down and tried to catch them napping here. So coming up to the corner at the 650, Super Solar went to the front from Mozu Markasin. The race has changed. Girls, and Wascally behind those horses now. Super Solar Soul down the dip at the 450 and tries to steal it under Damien Lane. Super Solar went for home about 3 lengths in front from a wall of horses. Super Stock down the outside. Mozu Markasin followed by Core. The others couldn't sprint. Super Solar, 200 metres to go. Daring Ride, will it pay off? 2 lengths, Mozu Markasin and Super Stock. Super Solar, 100 to go. Mozu Markasin trying to pick up Super Solar. Head bobbing, go. A photo finish, Mozu Markasin or Super Solar. Then Core and Super Stock in a photo for the minors. And then behind those horses, Girls, and also Wascally.
Thank you, Matty. Matt Kamani's joining me. Matt, there wasn't a whole lot going on in probably the first 3/4 of the race, and then everything sort of happened in the last 400 metres or so. What were your thoughts watching?
Yeah, it's always a bit of a worry when they all come out and they're looking at each other, and you've said to the jockey, just see where you land, because that's what he's going to be doing as well. But I thought Logan did quite well to make a decision and go to the back of the field. The danger was, of course, then that they'd go too slow, which is exactly what they did. But I thought he made an early move, a decisive early move to try and get up to the field. And I very thankfully did that, because as soon as the others started getting going, he was left a little bit flat-footed. He doesn't have that sort of 1,800 metre speed, really, particularly when they go that slow. So I think Logan rode him beautifully and timed it to perfection because he got there on the line. It was a bit too close for comfort, but great to see the horse sort of stay on. A great effort from the horse and the team back home who have got him ready for first up 1800 in town.
What were you thinking when Damien Lane and Super Solar just slipped away by a couple of lengths?
Yeah, definitely worried, but 3 kilos off helps, I think, and also the fact that our jockey saw the play quite early on and got going. I think he's a really impressive young rider, and good luck to him going forward.
Clearly a horse with a lot of talent. Is this hopefully just a bridging step to what he might be able to get to this autumn?
I'd like to think so. That's now 3 in a row. He's won with a spell in between, obviously. You've got to give a huge well done, and thanks to the Rising Sun team who sourced these horses from Japan. He came over from Japan as a 13-start maiden. It's hard to sort of to be too confident with the horse coming over as that sort of maiden, but they picked the right sort of horses. We've seen recently they've had a number of city winners, and so long as we can keep being one of their trainers, I'm delighted.
Do you have any immediate plans for what might come next for him?
I think we just take it a step at a time. There's no rush. He's not a 3-year-old. We just take it a race at a time, and it'd be love to see him in one of the the Saturday staying races over the next couple of months.
What is his best trip going to be in time, do you think? That is a real proper Dower stayer?
Well, I think from what we saw last prep, yes, but I do think last prep he was a horse that sort of only ever did enough. So I think there's still a bit more there to expose, and what we saw today off that slow tempo, admittedly it was an excellent ride, but I think he showed enough speed to be able to make up ground on horses that were all sprinting at the same time. I think a lot of them were stayers, so you have to bear that in mind. But I do think that 2,400 metres is his distance, but perhaps not as dour as I thought originally.
Great result. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks a lot, Tim. Cheers.
There's Matt Kamani. Let's have a chat to Logan Bates, who's the winning rider. Congratulations, Logan. There wasn't a whole lot happening early, and then there was a heap happening late.
Yeah, there was. We sort of wasn't much tempo in the race, and just waited for Damien to get going on his one. Just tried to use him as best I could, and he was actually quicking up quite nicely. And I felt quicking up nice, and once he hit his top, he was just he hit his top and just howled. And at 200, I probably thought, we're always going to run second, and the leader started getting tired, and my horse just stuck to his guns. Credit to Matty, a great training performance. First up, 1800, had the horse fresh enough to sprint well off a slow speed and then maintain a good gallop up the straight. So credit goes to Matt and his team.
Yeah, and looks like he might be in for a pretty nice prep, particularly when we step him up in trip.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he finished off his prep in style and he started in style again. He's quite a high energy horse. When I first got on him, he was able to bounce around. So only we'll tighten him up, and as you said, I think he's in for a good prep.
Well done.
Thank you.